IVM.
Shunya One, a show on technology by Sheila Aditya, a man who was actually called technology and then renamed at the age of 14. Of course, his number skills or numerical skills are challenged because there's Shunya, there's 1, there's also 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, didn't get to that. But Shunya One, Sheila Aditya. New episodes out on the IVM podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Alright, please note that the language and ideas presented on the show might not be suitable for everyone. If you're under 18, make sure your mom isn't around. If you're over 80, why is your mom around?
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
On Cyrus Says, we meet Shobita Kadan, a name I've never heard before. Shobita I have, but Kadan never. Where is it from? Who are her ancestors? At what point did they leave Germany? All this and more on Cyrus Says.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
Okay, here on Cyrus Says, yesterday, we're recording this, so 24 hours ago, I met a beautiful man called Pratap. Lovely young man, his father is a tailor, and I saw something which I haven't seen in 10 years. He had a comb in the back pocket of his jeans. I miss that so much. I grew up where all the Indian men had combs in the back pocket of their jeans, and whenever they passed a car, they would take it out and they would comb their hair. So I asked you Indian men to reclaim your former glory. Get yourself a comb, put it in the back pocket of your jeans, and as you pass a car, slow motion like a little lad, take it off and comb your hair. It's called Cyrus Says.
And that's what Cyrus Says.
How times have changed. Shobita is our guest on Cyrus Says, and I'm sorry to begin with that terrible story, but the truth of the matter is I miss those days. I love the way we used to do that. You know, before the cell phones, what do you do with your hands? Especially for males. Okay, that's vulgar. What I meant was, you want to do something to kill time. And one of the great things was the comb. It was wonderful. Do you know anyone who had a comb in the back pocket?
No, but I know
that you
cheap didn't
plastic
have a
comb.
cell phone.
I didn't have a cell phone till 4 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
How do you know that?
Because I've been around for a while.
If I called you up when I was drunk, I apologize immediately.
You couldn't have called me.
I didn't, no?
You didn't have a phone. You're very smart, actually, Cyrus, that you didn't have a phone.
There you go. All right, Shobita Kadan is our guest.
Kadan,
is it?
Yes.
Nice name. And you're the director of marketing and strategy at Impresario, which is an opera, but it's also a place. Am I right? Shobita Kadan is the perfect foil. Kadan. I'll say it 4 times so I don't make a mistake. Kadan. Is the perfect foil for the brand. I'm reading off what has been given to me. Creative strategy and communications that her various brands have come to embody. But we're going to talk here about your entire life. Okay. This is just the part that got us interested in you, in the sense that my producer Naveen is a huge fan of this whole social business. Which is, how do you target it as it's a different sort of restaurant space that suddenly came and all the young people started going there. We'll get into that. Unfortunately, I don't understand that because I go there and I feel really old. Especially when the girls say, "Uncle, can you move the toilet door? You're locking it." So, yeah. So I'll come to that, but I want to start more. You were in the US, all right? And you started work in the US. So why don't you tell us your story from the beginning with the US?
So I studied in Boston. I did my master's in global marketing and advertising. Mm-hmm. And after that, I worked in New York for a few years. Mm-hmm. And then I moved back to India 9 years ago.
All right. So, born in Bombay?
No. Born in your favorite state.
Oh, God, which is that?
Haryana.
What is you're a Gurgaon girl?
No, not from Gurgaon.
Like, can we play some music here? Gurgaon girl. All the boys will make some noise. Oh, okay, excellent.
But I've never lived there. I'm a boarding school product since I was 5.
Thank God. Have you been to Gurgaon? Traffic's worse than ours. Which boarding school?
Lawrence School, Sana.
Oh, so privileged. Isn't Mahima Chaudhary also Lawrence School, Sana? The actress whose real name was Ritu Chaudhary? And then she met Subhash Ghai and her life changed forever.
No.
Good or bad is subject to, judgment.
I don't think she was from Sana.
Okay. I'll do my research on that. We'll come back. So let's now quickly understand. So you're from a boarding school. You're in the country India. How do you get into this space, which of course actually didn't exist in a sense? Promoting restaurants, creating brands.
So I've always been a really big fan of brands. And that's why I studied global marketing. And I worked with a marketing firm in New York. So I worked on different brands like Google and DoubleClick, etc. And
Google,
yeah.
DoubleClick,
yeah,
and now social.
Now
I'm
social.
I'm kidding.
I hope my boss isn't listening.
Oh, Riaz, he's not Parsi. Don't worry about him.
I know, actually.
We'll use
Yeah.
some connections. There'll be some cousin somewhere.
So then I met Riaz when I was in India on vacation, like 9 years ago, almost 9 years ago, and he offered me a job.
At this point, you were still working in America in one of these, in DoubleClick.
No, I was working with Renegade Marketing.
DoubleClick. Do you know my friend Neeraj?
No.
Oh God! Everybody asks about you don't know them.
I'm really sorry. I don't know too many people.
Do you know Ashok? Do you know Vinod? Shaktiman?
Stop.
Superman? Batman? Spider-Man? Shobita, we've got to have someone in common. You missed out on Ritu Chaudhary.
She did not go to Sina.
Okay, so let's understand this. You came on vacation to India and you by chance bumped into Riaz.
No, somebody sent him my resume actually, and he was looking for a marketing person.
Somebody?
At that
Why
point.
would anybody send a resume? What's the? Please explain.
Because things were
some guy wanted you to come back to India and stay here.
No, I wish. It wasn't that. It was just that Riaz was looking for a marketing person. So this friend of mine asked if I was open to looking for jobs. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, I'll send my CV. And he sent it to Riaz. And then Riaz and I met. And he interviewed me for 5 hours.
And dirty, creepy bastard. 5 hours. If it's a male, the interview it takes about 6 minutes. What the hell's going on?
No, he flew me down, so he had to make sure that he's getting like a bang for his buck.
Okay,
not a bang, sorry.
Stop it. I'm not taking part in this conversation. Or not on Women's Day special month exclusive thing. I can't be part of this.
Can you like delete this
No, we
episode?
can't delete this. How can we delete this? This can never be deleted. This is our promo. This goes on air all the time. This is now international. I'm sending this to Boston. Which college was it? Emerson's. Oof. Ralph Waldo Emerson himself. All right. So to cut a long story short, you had an interview in which, but you've never done anything with food. You talked about DoubleClick and Google and things like that.
I hadn't done anything with food before I joined Impresario.
So in the interview, were you confident getting into the food thing? Was it exciting for you to think about that? Because look at the brands that you spoke about.
Yeah.
They're huge. They're behemoths.
So I was telling the brand story, I think, and not really cooking. Mm-hmm. So that's what the difference was. I still don't know how to cook. It's about how you sell a space in terms of what people think about it. And then, of course, they come there and they taste the food, and that's also a big part of the experience. But what they think about when they think about the brand as a person or as an identity. So that's really what I do.
Yeah, I must say, social seems to have got it right. We never get space. It's always crowded. There are always these hip young people that make you feel bad about your life. But for some, I want to ask you, it's a difficult question.
Cyrus, we've just grown old.
Is it? No, I want to ask you this question because I think people all want this formula. How to get this formula to attract young people in, because that's the sign of success. In the 90s when we were growing up, the pubs and bars, they always would try and get younger people in so that the others would follow. I'm presuming that really is an important part. You seem to have got it bang on, spot on. It's always full. It's always happening. A lot of energy and trying to get in all the time sometimes, wherever. And how many branches now?
We have 19.
19 branches. I'm presuming most of them do really well. So now just take us through the fact that you've got the job or you've accepted the job. What did you decide to do? You've not done anything with food. You said you've never cooked. So what was in your mind? What was the main challenge, focus, vision for you?
So the reason I joined was because at that point we had Mocha. Mm-hmm. And for me, I thought
so Hookah was, if I remember right, the place where you could smoke this thing. Hookah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's Hookah with a H, not Hooker. Because we have all these dirty people who write in asking, really,
Hookah.
where's this place? Yeah.
Hookah.
But it was all sweet stuff.
Like it was flavored hookah.
You could actually get marijuana and smoke it.
No.
But you could in America in certain states, or say Belgium or
Not
Holland.
at Mocha.
Not in Mocha. Did you ever do that?
Never.
This I promise we won't air.
Never.
Did you ever?
Never.
Smoke marijuana?
Never.
Shobita, look at
Never.
your face. Can't believe it. All right, don't answer that question. Yeah, so that was also quite popular. Riaz seemed to have already got an idea of what the young people sort of... And it was very different from anything available.
Yeah. So what I really liked was...
Is Mocha your idea as well?
No. Mocha started in 2001, so like a good 8 years before I joined the company. And... what I really liked was what they had done with the brand, and it was like one of the first spaces to really create an experience that people could chill out, hang out, enjoy. It had all these community building activities. So it really was the first restaurant to speak as a brand. Mm-hmm. And I loved the way Riaz thought about it. He's very progressive that way in his thinking as a CEO and MD. He's very creative. and he's all for the brand. And I think that was a huge thing for me when I made my decision.
And Mocha was in Churchgate, at least one was.
Yes.
And I remember that so the kids coming out of Mocha and the people calling it Purohit on the right was so different. It was like two different cities. So again, you seem to have got that right. So what is your contribution? You got in, you decided to jump in, swim with the sharks, so to speak?
Yeah, I joined and my boss left on vacation for Spain.
Typical.
And I was like, what do I do now? But it took me a while because I was also used to working in a very different work environment. Like New York was very like chop, chop, chop. I first set up a meeting and nobody turned up.
What are you saying?
Yeah. And the calendars, which I realized later that nobody checks calendars here.
What does that mean?
It means that they don't check their calendar. And I was like,
you set up the meeting on the calendar?
Yeah. Because that's
This is the in-house meeting?
Yeah.
And nobody came?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what happened. And then a bunch of things happened like that. And then finally I had to meet this working culture halfway and I figured my way around it.
Okay, so what was the first contribution? Where was your first eureka moment, or what happened next? Social is your thing?
Social, well, I won't take credit for anything.
No, come on,
yet.
you have to take credit. That's why we got you here.
No. It's all been part of the team, and Riaz has had a huge role to play with it. But there have been a bunch of things that we've done over the years: created clubs, created communities, pushed the brand, and community events like swine dining, which has become like really big, and it's been going on for 7 years.
Old man doesn't have any idea what is swine dining.
It's a pork dinner, community dinner.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
So already we've lost one hell of an audience. Okay, go on.
I'm so sorry.
That's fine. Swine dining. Yeah.
Swine dine, and so we've been like really involved with the community.
Who comes
with the
up
arts.
with these kind of ideas? Come on.
That was me.
So this
because
you
I
smoke
like
marijuana
pork.
and mocha and you got this idea. Come on, be honest, be open, tell me everything.
No, it was I loved pork and I thought that there were not enough places that were offering pork.
Yeah, it is treated as a second-hand meat because of various issues and all that.
And our chef loves pork as well.
Who's the chef?
Chef Gresham Fernandez.
Oh, we've had him on the podcast. Lovely guy. Didn't give us anything to eat, Sala. Really.
He doesn't give me also anything
But
to
Shobita,
eat.
this is what I want to know. Are you interested in food?
I am.
Oh, did it become something that you learned on the job like Mandira Bedi learning cricket?
But
Not a good Why are you laughing? That's not funny.
Thanks a lot, Cyrus. What do you want me
I'm
to
just
say
kidding.
now?
No, because I always believe whenever we talk to people who are from the restaurant business, the first thing they say is, I love food, I live food. But you're actually saying that maybe you weren't that interested in food, but you like the idea of brand and building, and that's what you did. And then you learned on the way that food is fun as well.
Yeah,
How important is it?
When I interview people for like my team and they say I love food, I'm like, dude, you're not going to be sitting in the restaurant and eating. You need to sit here and work on the brand. So it's...
So, sorry to interrupt. How important is it for the food? Like in the old days, they would say, Deli Darbar, the biryani, that's good enough. You come there, forget parking issues, whatever. So how important is the food taste and the food love?
Very, very important. Ultimately, you can't sell your brand if your product is not good.
But in social, it looks like people are just coming here to have a good time. It's more like a coffee house in a sense. I see a lot of young people going in. I'm not saying they don't eat, but I'm just saying, is it that I'm asking you this as an honest, straight
What
question.
are you trying to say, Cyrus?
No, I'm asking you whether you've created a brand where actually the food is secondary to something. I'm not saying food is not good, but it's a hep place and they have to go there.
I'm not getting your point, Cyrus.
No, so is it possible that you can actually create a place which is popular and the food is there, but it's not the breaking point, it's not the only reason for going there?
It is possible.
And that's the feeling I get because all these young people going in and out. I can't believe they're all crazy about food or crazy about every dish that's available. So it's more like you've lured the youngsters. I'm not saying using marijuana. I'm not saying that. But you've lured the youngsters somehow. And that's the formula you seem to have got pat.
See, I think the whole landscape of dining out has also changed a lot. Going out has changed a lot. Mm-hmm. When we were younger, we would go out once a week and like dress up and go to a club and make plans with like 5 friends. Now people go out every day in their chappals and shorts, and it's a normal thing to do shorts on a Monday night. So things have changed a lot in that sense. But yes, there are people who still go out for food. And the younger people tend to go out for more of a good time and a party or a drink or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that is true. However, the food at social is still pretty popular because it is comfort food and there's a huge variety. So it's something that you'd enjoy with your drinks as well. But it's not the focus of social.
Okay. So the first project was social for you?
No. So when I started, the first brand that I had just launched was Smokehouse Deli.
Mm-hmm. Which I love, by the way.
Thank you.
I love the steak, which is against our culture and you shouldn't eat it, but I love the steak. Is that okay? But you should not eat it. It's terrible. It's a crime. It's a crime. But in case it's from abroad and the whatever
I like how
died
you
on
keep
its own.
yourself safe on this.
Yeah. It's a strange country now. You have to understand. Let's use the word peculiar. You would be a little careful. You can go back to Boston. What happens to me? Stand up in Kathmandu doesn't pay that well. Sorry. So the first was, tell us about that. So how did that come about? Now,
So that had just
give us
launched.
an idea of the whole creative process. What happens when a brand is out there or in your mind?
So, Smokehouse Deli had just launched when I started. It had one outlet in Delhi. And the idea was to kind of grow the brand and create a certain language when it comes to communication in terms of what we're going to say, how we're going to say it, what kind of promotions we're going to plan, what kind of calendar we're going to have which runs through the year, and then really taking what the brand stands for and making it speak in that particular language. And I think that's what we do at Impresario, because Smokehouse Deli has a very different story to tell, and it tells the story very differently as well.
Is it different customers for Smokehouse Deli
Yes.
as against social or mocha?
Yes. There's a little bit of an overlap, but it is
Just the greedy guys who go anywhere with their food.
It's different.
That's our type, yeah.
It is not exactly the same. We tend to get a slightly older audience at Smokehouse Deli.
Well, that was the idea as well, or that's how it turns out?
Well, when we started Smokehouse Deli, again, that was not what was really common at that point. So things were different. There was no concept of a place like social or going out that often. But when it started out, the idea was to really give people a place which is open all day and gives you good food and gives you like a great environment to be in. Mm-hmm. And if you see, Smokehouse Deli has handmade like drawings everywhere with a permanent marker which tells stories about the particular community that it's located in. So it kind of like traces back. You can use
For
QR
example,
codes.
in Delhi?
So in Delhi, in
Mr. Sharma
Hoskas
died
village.
here. I'm just asking.
No. In Delhi, in Hoskas village, you'll see the whole history of Hoskas village. So it'll show you about the kind of work that was being done like back in the day, and then how it transformed and how then the younger artists started opening studios there. So there's like a whole narrative that plays out on the walls. In Khan Market, because Khan Market came about when the partition was happening, so there are a lot of stories about partition, but very subtly put across.
Partition between Delhi and Gurgaon or between India and Pakistan?
India and
There are two different partitions. Also want to ask you a very important question. Very poetic that you chose Delhi as the place and it's called Smokehouse Deli. I mean, did you ever think of that? Or why I won't be hired by marketing, by Impresario very soon? Also, one more thing I was thinking of. Teri Mocha is actually a Bengali gali. And so from there, you can have another sense of a good name to use. Am I upsetting you, Shobita?
No, what is the gali?
Teri Mocha. That's Bengali for Teri Maka.
Oh.
15 minutes later. No worries. All right. I think we're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to go to social in a big way. Talk about all the other things that you've done and what's out there, what's new, how do you stay ahead of the competition. And this success which you won't tell me about how to get young people in. Because that's what we need to do in our shows. So
yeah,
the secret
there's a
coming
theory
soon.
behind that.
Shobita is going to share that secret with us here on Cyrus Says. So please listen. If you want to win the brand business, she's going to give us that one secret which gets the young people in. And it's not drugs. Is it drugs?
No.
Oh, damn.
Every week comes a show where three people come together to tell you about stuff they like. A movie, a TV show, a book, and other stuff. Tune in every Monday on the IVM Podcast app to IVM Likes. Batman approves this message. Thank you, Batman.
Yeah, Shobita is with me, Director of Marketing and Strategy at Impresario, which is basically the group that runs all the different options, restaurants out there. Almost 50% of India's restaurants now. Social.
Smokehouse
Deli,
Saltwater Cafe,
Saltwater Cafe.
Sink and Bardo.
My God, there are too many. I can't do this forever. Never end. All right, so now let's talk about the social revolution. By that, I don't mean the actual one, but in a sense, the mini one that seems to have happened. And you're going to share the secret. But how you lure these guys in? How do you get that right? You almost got like the MTV formula. You go in there, you see young people, always. And even if you see older people, they're young older people, in the sense of attitude.
So there are a couple of things. One, obviously...
Slowly, we're writing it down. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not giving away my secrets.
Come on, secret. Secret
You know how restaurants are just popping up everywhere these days.
Yeah, but not all of them do well. You guys have really set benchmarks here.
Oh, thank you.
Go on, yeah.
So one thing is that I'm really lucky to have a team, which took me a long time to build, which is my target audience.
It sounds like a Miss India answer now. You're
No.
thanking everybody. I want to thank Patricia. I want to thank Aruna. I want to thank Raju,
I'm
the
not
spot boy.
thanking them. They're a pain in the ass.
Yeah, just
but-
abuse those bastards. Tell them what they really do. They do sweet Tell them the
No,
truth.
I love them.
Yeah.
But
Who's your worst employee?
I don't have a worst employee.
Who's your second worst employee?
Actually, my worst employee would not be on my team.
Oh, come on. Don't be so nice now.
Like, I hate IT.
Okay, IT department.
Yeah.
But there's a name that you want to say, but you're not saying it. So if they ever hear the podcast,
I will
I'm sure,
never tell anybody
okay,
about
rhyme
the
the name.
podcast.
Like if it's Rajesh, say Pajesh. Come on,
No, I
come on, be fun. They'll listen.
No, I can't.
Oh,
I'll
come
get
on.
fired.
It's okay, IT, but
No.
you're at loggerheads with IT all the time.
No, I'll get fired.
Oh, you'll never get
Accounts
fired.
also.
There's no way you'll ever get fired. If you get fired, somebody will snap you up, you'll build another brand. Believe me, you're not getting fired. All right. Sorry, we interrupted the whole thing. So you were saying the secret, of, if there is
Yes,
one.
so I think what's really important is, and what I realized was that I needed people who speak the same language as my target audience. And there is a slight age gap between me and my team.
1 year here or there.
Yeah.
Everybody loses a year.
But they're the kind of people I would want to see at social, and they're the kind of people who would enjoy social. And I think them speaking for social makes a really big
So
difference.
to twist David Ogilvy, what you're saying is that you're hiring better people than yourself. You hire slightly younger people, so you sort of get the next generation's...
No, I think that somebody better than myself might not still understand social, or still might not be able to run social or be the face of social. So the idea is to get faces also who really represent what your brand is. I don't like...
So your team is really young.
My team is really
They're all
young.
in the 5th standard. No, I'm just kidding. So, what I mean
They
is,
behave like that.
No, exactly. Especially IT. See, 9 years in the business.
IT behaves like their nursery.
Yeah, now go ahead. Say the name. Say the name. Shobita, make it personal.
No.
Let's go. Personal always
Stop
works.
it, I don't want to get
Without personal,
fired.
nobody listens to anything. The moment you go personal, it's like Shah Rukh versus Salman or something. Everybody's interested. It's like that. Come on, say the
I have
name.
a lot to say. It'll take another session.
Doesn't matter. This is
Can
more
you call
fun.
me back?
Come
You're like, no.
on. IT.
No.
All right.
No.
Okay. Back to the secret. So your point basically is that keep them young, they bring in the culture, and you sort of let them
And
lead.
I think what's really important for me, I'm really passionate about what I do. I love my brands. And it's very important to find people who love what they do. And I'm lucky they might not have certain skills at the point that you interview them. But I think that if the person is good and the person is driven and I don't care if they've like passed their 12th or passed their college or not. I don't give a damn about degrees. As long as they have common sense,
So do you do the 5-hour interview yourself? Because you're not looking at the biodata. You're like, come sit down, Rajesh, tell me more.
I
Yeah.
do like half an hour to an hour. Yeah.
But no, so if he's 22 when he joins, in 9 years he's 31, then what happens? Because you want them young.
Yeah, but they've only been here for like 3-4 years
But
now.
tell him the bad news. It's not
But
going
social will
forever.
also grow up by then.
Which brings us to anti-social. In fact, can we go through all the brands for a second? Just sort of tell
course.
us what each one sort of signifies and if there's a different target audience. So let's start with social.
So social is a place where we have a co-working space where a lot of startups come and work from during the day.
Yeah, that's another thing that you thought of. To lure young people in.
We wanted the creative community to kind of come
Come and
together.
hang.
And also we saw that a lot of people were just going online and nobody was really connecting. And people that we also worked with in terms of freelance designers and writers tended to get very isolated. So this was a good way of bringing them together so they feel like they're working in company.
Was this your idea?
It was a team idea.
Okay, awkward pause means it was her idea. We understand.
No,
the idea.
it wasn't.
There was no awkward pause. You say
It was
Rajesh
really
was responsible.
us
Rajesh is
idea.
damn talented. When you go sweet and humble, we know it's your idea.
No.
IT, you suck. IT and Impresario, you friggin' suck, man. What's his name?
I won't tell you.
Oh, damn it. Yeah. So that's social.
And then that's during the day, a certain part of it, but then it's open for everybody, the cafe part of it, and then at night it turns into a party place. So when we started, obviously the crowd was a little bit more niche, and then as we grew, we started getting like a wider range of people to come in.
And were there any success stories? People who sat there and became millionaires with their startups because they spent 2 years working at social?
Yeah, well...
And then they say, I'll donate 10 crores to Shobita's fund. to save IT across India.
I wish. No, so there was Amit. Amit used to work out of there initially before he started.
Amit?
Yeah, Amit.
Yeah.
And then there was people from Urban Clap. And then there were like a bunch of NGOs. So there have been like quite a few stories that have
They
come
almost
on
become like your
social.
employees because you see them every day and you sort of, exchange pleasantries.
No, not really. They
Anybody
all
want
like
to throw
very big.
out?
No.
After something like it
I
smells,
want
doesn't
more
change
people to
underwear?
sign up. Can you ask people to sign up to work from social?
Sign up to work from social. The rates are very acceptable.
It's free.
It's free, but you have to spend some money.
It's a deposit of $5,000.
It's a deposit of just 5,000
Fully
bucks,
redeemable.
which you fully can get back if you succeed in life. But if you're a failure, then
No, you can eat and drink with that $5,000.
Okay, with that 5,000 bucks, you eat and drink.
Yes.
The older food is given to you because you spend too much time there.
No.
Right? Fresh food.
We have a special menu for the workspace. It's like home food.
But not for IT. If you're from friggin' IT,
IT's
stay
in
the
the
hell out of
office.
social.
IT's in the office.
Okay. All right, that's social. We're looking at different brands. So now let's look at Smokehouse.
So Smokehouse is now 9 years old almost. And
I see kids sometimes. I
Yeah,
actually go
because
there
we
quite
have a
frequently.
really great kids menu. Mm-hmm. And it's very kid friendly.
So slightly more
It's,
family.
It's
slightly
more family. It's also like, people who are probably in their first job, second job, till they're like 40, 45. So it's a huge range of people.
How does that happen? But Shobita, honestly, I really don't understand. How does that happen? How do people go to this place and it's that one type and go to that place and it's that one type? How does that happen?
Because I think there are two things. One is the ambience that you create invites a certain kind of person, and two, the energy of that space keeps that certain kind of person there, and that's what you need to create. Now, obviously, social, if you walk in, is very different from a Smokehouse Deli.
Would you have a kids menu in social?
Why not?
Is there or isn't there? Because I don't see kids
There
in social. I'll be
isn't-
honest
there-
with you. Not
yeah.
children. I mean, kids.
Yeah, we don't have a kids menu, but we could. But if we see more kids coming in, that'll make sense to create a menu for them.
Mm-hmm.
But during the day, there are families that come in for lunch, and there are kids that come in as well. Maybe you've been in the evening, so you haven't seen any kids at all, because in the evening we don't allow kids
I've
inside.
seen my kids, but I keep them outside so I can eat peacefully. My kids are IT, by the way. No, I'm kidding. No. So Smokehouse Deli, slightly different feel, little more family, slightly more sophisticated sort of guy coming in, maybe 10 years into earning or whatever. What about, let's go to the next one. What happened to anti-social? What is anti-social?
So anti-social.
And why is there an uncle social? That's a little sexist. You got an anti?
It's not an anti-social. It's an anti-social.
Just going to spell out my gag and spoil it completely, and now I feel like joining IT as a market protest. Yeah.
Sorry. So anti-social is actually not really functional as a restaurant or a bar space during the day, and it is more of a gig space. So it's a platform that people use to come and for comedy, for music, for.
So our
all that.
producers perform there.
Yeah.
Naveen, you may not remember him, but he got a lot of laughs. Not at the social, but
At
while he was
comedy
trying to
night?
park his scooter.
Ah.
Yeah, he's very popular. He's very
Right.
popular. He does this whole gay number. I've seen it now 10 times. I'm bored. I don't become straight if you're going to do any more comedy. I can't hear the same routine all the time. But yeah, no, he is really popular. Jokes apart, no irony there. Yeah,
I'm sure he got it from you.
he's my son. You're right. Look at him, chubby cheeks. Okay, back to antisocial. So antisocial is more like a performing center.
Yes.
And drinks.
Yes.
So it's a different sort of audience they come to watch again.
Yes.
All right. What else do we got? What else have we got? We've got
So our
Slink.
newest brand is Slink and Bardo.
Bardo. Is there Brigitte Bardot? What is Bardot?
There is a little bit of Brigitte Bardot
Okay,
in
all
there.
right, all right.
That's
I'm quite
in
the creep.
Worli.
You know, any famous Hollywood diva, I have a poster. Yeah.
You have Brigitte Bardot's poster.
Of course.
You should Google
Growing
her
up.
right now. Okay.
No. Listen, I'm 46 years old. I know who you're talking about. That's what I'm saying. I don't belong in social. I somewhat make it into Smokehouse Deli, but I have to go in the evening at the right time. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a French restaurant. It's open only for dinner. It's beautiful. It's very romantic, and it has a small plate menu, and it has lovely
What is a small
cocktails.
plate menu for people with little hands?
No,
Then
it's for people who want
Eat less.
variety in life, Cyrus.
she smiles and tells me, like, moron, you're stuck with your wife 40 years. You should see what she thinks about that.
40 years?
No, I don't know. I can't remember.
When did you get married? When you were 6?
When the independence happened. British let my wife stayed. One of those stories. Saltwater Cafe?
Saltwater Cafe is all about the food. And it's also a place
Didn't
where...
it start on the beach?
Yeah, that was Saltwater Grill.
That was fantastic. What
Yeah.
happened there? Why did they take the beach thing off?
There was some problem with keeping.
But try and get that back, no? One on the beach.
Yeah, we tried.
Okay, we'll go talk to people out there. BMC or people who own the beach, Maharashtra government or Gujarat government, I'm not sure. Whoever owns the beach, help them put up a nice... I think it'll be good for tourism also. These kind of things should be encouraged.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell, man? Let me become chief minister. I'll change this city. Well, I will throw out a lot of people though, but that's, that's been done by other parties as well. Sorry. So where were we? Saltwater Cafe.
So Saltwater Cafe is a cafe version of Saltwater Grill, actually. So taking the Saltwater Grill fine dining food into a more cafe, casual dining format is Saltwater Cafe. And it's a little bit more progressive in terms of food. And
you get a mixed market there.
Yeah,
this is the banter joint, right?
Yeah, we get, it's mixed for
I've
sure.
been there quite often as well.
The one behind Leelavati.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's pretty mixed and it's a place where people feel comfortable.
Yeah, I think, again, for an older person like myself, you don't look around and say, I think social is very young, okay? Very young in a good way, it's hip and all that. But I think this is a spot where Saltwater Cafe is where I feel comfortable, sort of. Yeah. Until the waiter looks at me and says, you have to pay, it's not free. You can't say, I know Riaz and all Parsis are related. This thing doesn't work anymore.
Listen, everybody who comes says they know Riaz.
They know Riaz. Everybody just arms themselves with his name. Waiter, Riaz mera dost hai.
Every time someone calls me and says, I want XYZ from you, and I'm like, not giving it to you, I know Riaz. I said,
do people blatantly ask you for discounts? I grew up in Baikala, that kind of thing.
No. I haven't got the Baikala one.
This is India. This is the kind of things that
no, but when I get
I've heard people say, my building was 6 buildings away to somebody else. Whatever that meant. Yeah.
That's how they knew them?
Yeah, someone like that's the rishta, that's the connection, Yeah, 6 buildings. Yeah.
But you are also pretty connected now with the other Parsi colony.
How does that help?
Generally.
Riaz has not lifted a finger to help me. We've asked him to come on the show 5 times. He's refused to. And I know fingers are one thing he can lift. And this is the way
so
he
you know who
us.
you have to call and say, I know Riaz.
You. Last time I said, I know Riaz. They said, okay, then sing. Okay, so what's up next? What's the future like for Shobita? Are you going to stay with this business? I mean, with them?
Thanks, Cyrus.
No, I'm thinking a lot of people, they build their brands and they move on because people know about you and say, hey, come here, build my brand.
Yeah. No one's asking me that.
Awkward question, don't answer it.
How come I'm not getting these offers?
Because of IT. They block it every time an offer is coming.
Oh my God, that's what
they block porn and they block this. The 2 things you need in life. I can't understand, really.
I think I better start working from a cyber cafe.
What's his name? The
No.
IT guy.
No.
Give me a hint.
No.
Let's rhyme it.
No.
Okay, what's his star sign?
I don't even want
When
to
was he
find out.
born?
I don't know.
Does he wear like the tight underwear thing or does he wear like the open...
I don't know. I do not
jammies?
look there.
No, but I thought you know him intimately. Not at all?
No.
What the hell? So there's no personal relation. Why do you hate him?
Because he's never able to fix my problems.
Okay, he's just useless. Useless is not the worst
Oh my
thing.
God.
I thought it was a
Yes, I'm
mean,
really
malicious
sorry.
man.
I mean to say that everybody in our company is amazing.
Really? Except IT.
No, I love IT.
All right. Shobita, before we let you go, tell us a little bit about yourself. We've discussed all this.
We're done already.
We're done already.
I have questions.
Oh, please.
Okay, we are going to talk in Hindi.
Done.
I made questions for you. I
तो
need
आप हिंदी में बात करो ना
हाँ
आप अंग्रेजी में बात
अभी
क्यों
हम
करते
रैपिड फायर राउंड करेंगे
हैं ठीक है
तो आप मुझे बताइए आपकी शादी
परिस्थिति क्या है एक्सप्लेन सिचुएशन
सिचुएशन नहीं है
उसमें सिचुएशन नहीं है
नहीं आप आंसर करो बस
ठीक है
आपकी शादी किससे हुई है कुणाल या आयशा
हाँ हाँ हिंदी में What the hell? Oh, Naveen, you put it up?
200 शब्दों में आंसर करो मिनिमम अभी
मैं वो IT वाला से बात करूंगा
मैं फिर से रिपीट करती हूँ अपना क्वेश्चन
शादी मैंने आयशा से किया है बट आई थिंक आई हेट टू यूज दिस वर्ड दहेज में कुणाल आया
कुणाल आयशा के साथ आया
हाँ सॉरी
कि आपके दहेज में आया
वो कंफ्यूज हूँ
अच्छा
मेरे को 5 मिनट दे दो प्लीज
ब्रोचा का मतलब क्या होता है
ब्रोचा जो यूनिवर्स का रूलर है सम्राट विराट
किसने बोला
परमात्मा
आपको
के
ये?
ऊपर अभी चश्मा भी गिर गया देखा
किसने आप नर्वस हो रहे हो बहुत
मैं नर्वस नहीं हूँ सिर्फ मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि इसका अर्थ क्या है तो मैं
अच्छा,
गूगल करके आपको बताएगा
और
कि ये इसका अर्थ ये है और वो
अब
अर्थ
बताएगा
है।
मुझे?
हाँ मैं अभी बताया
हाँ अच्छा अभी आप मुझे ये बताइए कि अर्नब और साइरस में क्या है कॉमन
टाइज रेड टाइज और पार्किंग
आपने तो नहीं
CNBC में मेरे पास पार्किंग है रिपब्लिक में उसके पास पार्किंग है और लव फॉर ह्यूमैनिटी कंपैशन हिंदी में कंपैशन क्या होते हैं दया I've been told by Naveen the comedian
लोगों ने आपसे पहले पूछा है कि आप और अर्नब में क्या सिमिलैरिटीज
only when we are in bed together
ओके
not logo or Nob and me
और आप इतने एंटी सोशल क्यों हैं? मैंने आपको कभी सोशल पे नहीं देखा.
देखिए, इसमें एक शर्म की बात है. मैं बताऊंगा आपको. प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि जैसे मेरे उम्र की जो आदमी है या पर्सन है या इंसान है, अगर मैं बच्चों की शॉप में जाएगा तो पीपल स्टार्ट लाफिंग. तो इसलिए मैं
हिंदी में बात कीजिए.
हाँ, तो हिंदी में मैं आपको बताऊंगा वन मोर टाइम,
200 शब्द में.
200 शब्द में कि जब मैं सोशल के अंदर जाता तो एवरेज उम्र जो है, या एवरेज हिंदी में क्या होता है? लगभग उम्र जो है 16, 18, 19, 20 है. मेरा बेटा का उम्र है 15 और मेरी बेटी की उम्र है 11. तो मुझे बहुत शर्म होती है वहाँ पे. एंड मैं जो केटरिंग करते हैं वहाँ पे, जो वेटर्स है, उसका एवरेज उम्र भी 17, 18, 19 है. तो मैं क्या करूँ वहाँ पे? एक्सप्लेन.
लेकिन वहाँ पर तो बुढ़े लोग भी आते हैं.
जब मैं मरने के लिए तैयार है तो मैं जाएगा उधर.
क्यों? तब
एक
तो आप बहुत
बैठ जाएगा,
तब तो
बहुत ऑर्डर करेगा खाना जितना भी चाहिए और फिर मर जाऊंगा मैं वहाँ पे विदाउट पेइंग द बिल.
पक्का सोशल हो गया ना?
हाँ जी.
ओके. अच्छा, और मुझे एक और क्वेश्चन पूछना है. एक्चुअली 2 और क्वेश्चंस हैं. मैंने सुना है कि आप पारसी पंचायत के लिए स्टैंड कर रहे हैं. आप कुछ बता सकते हैं कि आप पारसी लोगों को बचाने के लिए क्या कर रहे हैं?
इंटरब्रीडिंग.
अच्छा, आपको ब्रिटानिया अच्छी लगती है कि लकी?
बट लकी एक डॉगी का नाम है तो. नहीं,
मैं रेस्टोरेंट्स के बारे में बात.
ओ लकी. आई लव लकी बिरयानी बैंडर. और ब्रिटानिया में बेरी पुलाव, मगर अभी महंगा हो गया. 500 रुपये टू मच यार.
Why not Khane Khas or Mini Punjab?
I love Khane Khas. I love Mini Punjab.
What about Nurani?
Nurani, let's be honest, yeah. नूरानी को तारीफ करने मैंने बहुत खाया जब MTV ताड़ियों में था. But I got to tell you, sorry.
Do you miss your channel V days?
MTV, yeah. Funny.
Okay, I'm done. Thank you so much, Cyrus. Thank you for coming on the show.
That was lovely. My pleasure. I really enjoyed myself. And the way you put my life together. It's like Instagram, but longer. Thank you so much. Excellent. Okay, before we go, Shobita, tell us very quick, what's the future? What's coming up?
The future is looking bright.
You're not going to tell us? No new brand, no new...
Yes, we have a new brand coming up, actually.
And?
Which will launch this month. Which is a secret right now. So stay tuned for that.
Target group?
Target group is everybody. And you can come there, Cyrus.
That's what the last government said. All right. Shobita was with us. If you want discounts, you can catch her on.
Never call me for a discount. Call me.
So our final word will be to IT in Impresario.
No.
Mr. Sharma?
No.
Verma? Bhatia?
No, stop.
Singh? Subramaniam? Come on, it's got to be one. Shah?
No.
Give me just...
I think you need to get Riaz on the show.
Give me the surname, come on.
I can't.
But we don't even know who he is. It's just a name.
I can't. It'll be somewhere and he'll hear it. And luckily, all of them think that I hate them.
First part of his first name? Agar naam Anil hai, to you say An.
Can't.
Please? Kant. Ravikant. Suryakant. Oh, damn it. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, friend. So, if you're listening to a podcast right now, you're probably some kind of a nerd. A nerd at heart, at least. So maybe, just maybe, you might like another podcast about nerds, by nerds, and for nerds.
It's called Geek Fruit, a community to unite estranged geeks from across India and later on the world. We talk about television, movies, science fiction, adventure, fantasy, etc. Anything nerdy, it's all here on Geek Fruit.
You can catch a fresh episode every Monday, and you can check us out on any of your favorite podcast apps. Like my favorite podcast app, the IVM podcast app. Give me my money, IVM.
Good plug.
Happy listening, you nerds.
If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
All right, AMA, that's what it's called.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm excited, but I'm not. But Amit has joined us, Shobita. You've met him before because he was at Social, sitting around scratching himself. Yeah.
Yes, I did. For many, many, many months.
And he had the $5,000. Did he redeem himself properly?
Yeah.
By Monday itself?
You think I'm going to let my $5,000 go?
No, I'm sure you're not. How long would it last?
So we did it for a lot of people, right? I had like 10 people over there.
So 50 grand?
Yeah. And for a couple of months, 50. I mean, 50 was like the last couple of months. But we'd use it all.
$50,000? You could have got an office space in 12,000.
That's why I got an office space.
Oh, fair enough.
50,000. So.
I had to find the one Gujarati man who doesn't have a brain. Unbelievable to work with.
He got food for that.
Yeah, I did. I got credit for it.
And he got, by the way, he also got invited to the event with
Yes, the Prince William event.
Prince William event at Todi because he worked with social.
Because you were short of staff.
No, we invited him as a guest, and he also got invited to all our other events.
Is
the
that
other
so?
privileges.
Yes, I did.
So you know British royalty.
Well, I was in the crowd when British royalty was around.
All right, Shobade, tell me more.
All right, first question we have. This is from Aniket Paul. Recently, you complained about having to pay for urinating at public toilets.
I think it's rubbish.
Assuming, let's listen to the question, right? Assuming that you would use one only in case of emergency or lack of other options, do you think people are liable to pay if they enter the paid toilets but shit pee in their pants before they could unzip their pants?
Aniket Paul, how dare you, firstly? I pee all the time. Okay, every Friday I go to Chakala, which is a place far away from India, somewhere beyond Sri Lanka.
Okay.
And it takes hours to get there. I leave the Bombay Gymkhana at like 7:30 in the morning. I take a break at Worli to pee, except when Modi is in town and they shut the urinal for some reason, tell me I can't get out of my car. These kind of things happen. So I know all the pee points of India. Not just in Mumbai, in Delhi, in Gurgaon, wherever I go regularly, I know where to pee. In Delhi anyway. But that's another story altogether. Listen, a country is judged by the amount of urinals they have and public toilets for men and women that they have. Right. And let me tell you, we're really not doing well. Akshay Kumar has tried his best. Achhe Din are supposed to, come at some point. Prime Minister talks about it, but we need much more toilets.
Okay.
And I'm going to vote for anyone who gives us more toilets because that's one place where people don't realize the importance of a toilet till you need to really pee.
Jahan shauch hai, wahan soch hai.
Correct. But we don't have time for that. And the kind of smells we have, the soch changes. Yeah.
All right.
By the way, I have to tell you, this is disgusting, but I just peed at the Worli urinal just now, earlier in the day, and I have to tell you the sad story of in the urinal was the other stuff. Okay. So some people still can't distinguish between what to do in what place.
They need to put up instructions.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. He made a film. What more do we do?
In the urinal?
In the urinal was the other stuff.
That is...
shall I spell it out?
Okay, next question.
It rhymes with Trotsky.
I can't figure out what that rhyme is.
Sort of.
But all right, that's right. All right. India will turn into Syria if Ram Mandir issue is not resolved. This is Sri Ravi Shankar. What is your take on this? This is Inquisitive Nix on Twitter.
Look, if you're looking for compromise formulas, there are many out there which are simple. I mean, you can easily build both.
Okay.
You could easily find a neutral solution like hospital, schools, that kind of thing.
Right.
It's not rocket science actually to come to a conclusion on this one.
No, it's not.
And I'm hoping that no more blood will be spilled. But frankly, I never want to go to Ayodhya in my life.
Optimistic.
I never want to go there in my life.
Yeah, no, but I think what his point is more along the lines that Sri Ravi Shankar, our art of living guy,
playing the mediator,
yeah, and also just being a little bit of an ass, right?
You think so?
I thought so.
Again, either way you go, you won't please everyone, right? You will tilt right or left.
So when I read the article around this, it felt a little threatening to me.
Okay, Shobita, what's your take?
Why is nobody asking me questions?
The question's for you.
Oh, I thought it was for you.
Ayodhya, what should we build there?
It's a great question. Let me get back to you about it.
I'm saying toilets. Everywhere in India, we need toilets.
We do, but we need clean toilets.
No, don't ask for too much. Just ask for toilets. I'm talking about people not knowing the difference between 1 and 2.
I don't want dirty toilets, Aniket Paul.
Have you used public urinals?
Yes.
Shobita, you look like a person who's never suffered.
Are you crazy? My life is all about suffering. I suffer every day.
Tell us your life. Tell us your feelings.
We'll have to carry on with the show till 2 more months.
There's an actor called Raj Kumar who was very big. Very, very big many years ago.
Okay.
And he said something very famous about toilets, but I can't remember what. Yeah. So there, Shobita. So there.
Cyrus, you conned me, by the way, because I thought that was the end of the show. Your team has not briefed me properly.
That dirty fellow Naveen at the back. Back to Sri. Right. What was your point? I didn't get it.
Nothing. I just felt like, the way that he approached the whole thing seemed a little kind of that, hey, we need a temple. That seemed to be his kind of...
He started as a mediator and then went swiftly to temple.
Yeah, and that was just like...
Who would make a good mediator for Ram Mandir issue? Who's, I think, neither Hindu nor Muslim, firstly.
You.
Me? Yeah! Build me a toilet first,
Parsis
then I'll
are
sort
the best. Parsis are the best.
What's the big... So what you're saying is we build in Agyari? My God.
But you won't let anybody enter?
The solution is no mandir, no masjid, Agyari, and no one can enter except Parsis in UP, and there are 4 in Kanpur, as far as I know, and that's it.
I think that's the only solution.
Yeah. Yep. All right. That's a wrap, by the way. Shobita, all the best to you.
Thank you.
Famous actor that you remember?
From what?
From the 60s, 70s.
I remember all of them. I saw all the movies. Back
Dilip
then.
Kumar, then there
From
was...
the 60s, 70s, 60s,
The
70s.
Kashmiri guy, the Kashmiri guy.
and,
Rajendra Kumar, Manoj Kumar, one more Kumar.
Rajendra Kumar, Manoj Kumar, Raj Kumar.
Raj Kumar!
Then
I'm so happy Riaz is
And
listening.
today we're Akshay Kumar. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. If you have any questions, write to us online and you can mail us as well. We will answer. We have a doctor in the house called May.
And that's what Cyrus says.
There she stands, a podcast addict. Outside the bank, having traveled several miles to get in with other poor souls like her. The journey, though daunting for this youngling, will have some comfort because she has downloaded her favorite podcast. You can see more of her species on ivmpodcasts.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.